What do you do when your family starts turning on itself and you're the one caught in the middle? Inside Sheikh Hamdan's palace, preparations for Eid are in full swing. Lights are being strung, the halls are buzzing with tradition, and from the outside everything looks perfect. But behind those grand walls, something deeply personal is unraveling. A storm is brewing, one that involves betrayal, heartbreak, and a royal decision that could change lives forever. Sheikh Hamdan isn't just facing public duties this Eid, he's also confronting pain that no title can protect him from. And while the world is watching the celebrations, no one knows what's really going on behind closed doors until now. Because today, we're not just revealing the emotional drama unfolding inside the palace, we're also exposing a decision that Sheikh Hamdan has made, one that could bring a complete stranger into his inner circle. And the most shocking part, that stranger could be you. Zabil Palace is glowing, the chandeliers are polished, the corridors are filled with the scent of Bakur, and staff are working around the clock to prepare for one of the grandest Eid celebrations of the year. From the outside, it's everything you'd expect from the royal family of Dubai, glamour, tradition, and perfection. But the truth, it couldn't be more different. Behind the gold-plated doors, there's a tension that's growing by the day. Whispers echo louder than laughter, smiles feel forced, and at the center of it all is a man who's torn between duty, heartbreak, and betrayal, Sheikh Hamdan. You see, while his palace is buzzing with celebration, his ex-wife Haadiya has quietly packed her life into boxes. Weeks ago, she made a bold decision to leave Dubai for good, sell off her properties, and start over far away from the royal spotlight. But here's the strange part. Despite her announcement, none of her mansions have been sold. Not one. Why? What's stopping her from walking away? Some say she's hesitating. Others believe someone is trying to stop her. But what's clear is this: something deeper is going on. And while Haadiya stalls, tensions inside Sheikh Hamdan's palace are reaching a breaking point, because someone else in that palace wants her gone and is willing to do whatever it takes. And what happened next? That would change everything. Behind the polished image of royal unity lies a quiet war, one that's been brewing between two women connected to Sheikh Hamdan in very different ways. On one side is Haadiya, the ex-wife who once held his heart. On the other is Sheikha Thani, his current wife, and the woman who wants Haadiya erased from the royal narrative entirely. For months now, Sheikha Thani has been quietly pushing for Haadiya's complete disappearance, not just from the palace, but from Sheikh Hamdan's life, his memories, his emotions, even his children's future. And recently, she took her boldest step yet. According to sources close to the family, Sheikha Thani offered Haadiya a multi-million-dollar deal: money, privacy, and a clean break. All Haadiya had to do was take the cash and vanish. No more headlines, no more connections, no more reminders. But Haadiya didn't flinch. She turned down the offer completely, no hesitation. And that's when everything exploded. Because the moment Sheikh Hamdan found out what Sheikha Thani had tried to do behind his back, he didn't just get upset, he got furious. He saw it as a betrayal, a heartless move by someone inside his own home. And what he did next sent shockwaves through the entire royal circle. When Sheikh Hamdan learned what Sheikha Thani had done behind his back, something inside him snapped. This wasn't just palace politics anymore, this was personal. Haadiya may no longer be his wife, but she was once a part of his world, his partner, the mother of memories he still holds on to. For someone to try and erase her like a smudge on a glass window, that was a line he couldn't let anyone cross, especially not his own wife. Without a second thought, Sheikh Hamdan made a bold and unprecedented move. He slashed Sheikha Thani's monthly royal allowance, cutting it in half, just like that. No discussion, no warning. It was his way of saying, "You don't control my past, you don't control my choices," and as expected, Sheikha Thani didn't take it well. She didn't just get angry, she was livid, insulted, humiliated, and instead of staying silent, she ran straight to someone who could shut Hamdan down with a single word. Her next move wasn't just bold, it was dangerous, because she went to his father. And what happened next? Even Sheikh Hamdan didn't see it coming. Sheikha Thani didn't waste time. Fuming over the financial cut, she stormed straight to the man whose voice still echoes louder than anyone else's in the royal family, Sheikh Mohammed, Sheikh Hamdan's father. She laid everything on the table, the argument, the allowance, the humiliation. And just like that, the royal drama turned into a generational clash. When Sheikh Mohammed heard that his own son had dared to slash a royal wife's allowance over personal emotions, he lost it. He picked up the phone and called Hamdan immediately. What followed wasn't a conversation, it was a scolding. He didn't ask for explanations. He didn't want to hear Hamdan's side of the story. He just shouted, furious that his son had taken such a drastic step without permission. And then came the command, restore her allowance, now. For Sheikh Hamdan, this wasn't just a disagreement, it was a public slap in the face. Here he was, trying to stand up for what he felt was right, and instead he found himself cornered by the very man he spent his life trying to live up to. On one side, a wife who moved in silence to erase his past. On the other, a father who refused to let him take control of his own household. And in the middle, a man quietly breaking under pressure. But this wasn't the end of the conflict, it was only the beginning. Because when the palace turned its back, Hamdan turned somewhere else, somewhere unexpected, and the woman he turned to, she's not just a girlfriend, she's the only one who truly knows how broken he's become. Sheikha Thani didn't waste time. Fuming over the financial cut, she stormed straight to the man whose voice still echoes louder than anyone else's in the royal family, Sheikh Mohammed, Sheikh Hamdan's father. She laid everything on the table, the argument, the allowance, the humiliation. And just like that, the royal drama turned into a generational clash. When Sheikh Mohammed heard that his own son had dared to slash a royal wife's allowance over personal emotions, he lost it. He picked up the phone and called Hamdan immediately. What followed wasn't a conversation, it was a scolding. He didn't ask for explanations. He didn't want to hear Hamdan's side of the story. He just shouted, furious that his son had taken such a drastic step without permission. And then came the command, restore her allowance, now. For Sheikh Hamdan, this wasn't just a disagreement, it was a public slap in the face. Here he was, trying to stand up for what he felt was right, and instead he found himself cornered by the very man he spent his life trying to live up to. On one side, a wife who moved in silence to erase his past. On the other, a father who refused to let him take control of his own household. And in the middle, a man quietly breaking under pressure. But this wasn't the end of the conflict, it was only the beginning. Because when the palace turned its back, Hamdan turned somewhere else, somewhere unexpected, and the woman he turned to, she's not just a girlfriend, she's the only one who truly knows how broken he's become. March 29th wasn't supposed to be any different. The palace was alive with Eid preparations, staff hurrying through glittering halls, and everyone wearing their best smiles. But inside Sheikh Hamdan, something was falling apart. The betrayal, the silence, the pressure to obey, it all became too much. That day he didn't want to be seen. He didn't want to wear the mask of royalty. He just needed someone who saw him as Hamdan the man, not Sheikh Hamdan the crown prince. So, quietly, without any royal escort, he left the palace and drove to one of the few places that still felt safe. Shamma al-Falasi's mansion. No announcements, no headlines. Just a car pulling up with fruit, nuts, and a man who looked nothing like the powerful figure the world knows. He brought her gifts for Eid, yes, but what he really carried was a heart full of pain. Once inside, he let it all out. He told her everything. The fight with Sheikha Thani, his father's harsh words, the ache of watching Haadiya prepare to leave for good, the feeling of being trapped, pulled in every direction but never truly heard. And Shamma, she didn't speak over him, she didn't judge, she just listened. And when he finally paused, she looked him in the eyes and made a quiet promise. No matter what happens, I'm not going anywhere. That single sentence hit deeper than any royal decree. It was exactly what he needed to hear. Not loyalty to his title, but loyalty to him. And in that moment, something shifted. Because during this emotional heart-to-heart, Hamdan opened up about something even more unexpected. A personal decision, one that could change not just his life, but someone else's completely. And this next part, you won't believe who he's looking for or why. As the late afternoon sun poured through the windows of Shamma's mansion, Sheikh Hamdan sat back, silent for a moment, almost hesitant. And then he said something she didn't expect. He wasn't just struggling with royal pressure or personal pain. He was also carrying a quiet concern, something deeper, more private, something about his children. Sheikha and Rashid may live in luxury. They have everything money can buy, nannies, tutors, the best of everything. But that wasn't enough, not for Hamdan. They don't just need care, he told Shamma. They need warmth, real love, a presence that feels like a mother. Not a replacement for Haadiya, not another servant in uniform, but a woman with heart, patience, gentleness. Someone who wouldn't just watch over his children, but would raise them. And then came the shocker. He wasn't planning to find this woman through the royal network, not through arranged introductions or elite recommendations. He wanted to search among his fans. That's right, he was looking beyond royal circles, beyond status and bloodlines. For once, he wanted someone real, someone the world didn't see coming. And this woman wouldn't just be around the kids, she'd live in the palace, she'd be close to Sheikh Hamdan himself, trusted, protected, part of his inner world. And for the right woman, it would be a complete transformation of her life. But what exactly is he offering? What will this woman gain? That's where things get even more unbelievable. Sheikh Hamdan isn't looking for perfection. He's looking for intention. The woman he chooses won't be judged by how many followers she has or where she comes from. He's searching for something that can't be faked, genuine love for children, good manners, emotional maturity, and a heart big enough to step into a royal world without losing herself. And he's opening that search to the entire world. Yes, this is real. Anyone, no matter their nationality, background, or age, can apply for the role. Because in Sheikh Hamdan's eyes, this isn't a traditional job. It's a calling. And the benefits, they're beyond anything most people could imagine. A salary of $30,000 per month, a private residence inside the palace, first-class flight tickets to Dubai, a preloaded card for shopping, all meals and accommodation fully covered, 8 days off every month. And if she has her own children, they'll be welcomed into the palace too, with access to the same schools as Sheikha and Rashid. Let that sink in. This isn't just a job, it's an invitation into Sheikh Hamdan's personal life, his children's world, and his day-to-day environment. The chosen woman won't just be supervising nannies, she'll be guiding a royal legacy. And yet, most people still think it's just a giveaway, because that's how the opportunity was first introduced, a subtle, quiet announcement to avoid public chaos. But now the truth is out. The real reason behind the so-called giveaway is finally revealed. And if you're still watching, you might be closer to this opportunity than you think. Behind every crown is a person, and today we've seen a side of Sheikh Hamdan the public rarely gets to witness, a man burdened by loyalty, betrayed by those closest to him, and yet still searching for warmth in a world of gold and power. He could have chosen anyone for this role, a celebrity, a diplomat's daughter, a hand-picked royal insider, but instead he opened the door to the outside world, to you, because in the end, what matters most to him isn't fame, wealth, or titles. It's love, stability. Someone who will protect his children with the same care he gives to his country. This video isn't just about royal drama. It's about a man quietly rebuilding his inner circle. And if you're watching this, maybe that's not by accident. If this story moved you, hit that like button, subscribe so you never miss what happens next in this ongoing journey, and leave a comment below. Do you believe Sheikh Hamdan will actually find the one among his fans? Or is this just a royal fantasy? Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and remember, sometimes the biggest opportunities come from the most unexpected places.